For those of you joining, I'm Megan, author of the Undiet Cookbook, and I also run the Academy of Culinary Nutrition. And we are actually now open for registration for the fall 2016 program. And in just a few days, we've registered students from 10 countries, which is crazy. That's more people than I used to be able to fit in the kitchen when I taught live classes here. Here's what we're making today. I've got some flax that's been soaking because my doctor, also better known as my nutritionist, also known as my husband, has me on a special protocol, and what we're doing is we're bringing down the estrogen levels just a little. And flax seeds have this incredible magnetism to estrogen in the body, and it is a phytoestrogen, a plant estrogen, and it's a bit like a magnet that grabs onto that estrogen and brings it out. And the reason we're doing this is because we discovered through a 23andMe test that I have a little bit of an inability to effectively metabolize and eliminate a certain type of estrogen. So my levels, for as long as I know, have always been a little bit high. I don't have any, I'm not symptomatic or anything, but it's, elevated estrogen levels, increased risk of cancer and all kinds of stuff. So we're working on bringing that down for whole health purposes, because it's you know what, I have this musician that I love, and his name is Brett Denon. And he recently sent out an email, and he talked about how on his tour last year, his health was compromised, and he said, anything is everything. And when it comes to your health, anything you're dealing with is everything, because if we don't have optimal health, we're lacking and we're suffering, and we don't want any lack or suffering in our lives. So I've been told I need to eat more flax, and I used to eat a lot of flax. So I used to grind it up and put it in my oatmeals in the morning, but I'm not so into the oatmeal. If you read my blog post a couple weeks ago about how I'm fat fueling my breakfast, and I'm wearing a really big shirt, so it probably looks like I'm fat fueling my life too, but there's less of me than there used to be, in a positive way. And that's because by fueling my breakfast with fat and lower glycemic load, I feel more steady and stable through the day. And so I'm like, how am I going to eat more flax? Because quite honestly, those whole flax crackers, where they take flax and sesame and sunflower seeds and they dehydrate that together. Does anyone like those? Does anyone really like those? I don't like those. So I'm trying to figure out, I don't want to just sprinkle ground flax on salads. So I'm making these tortillas, and yes, now onto the tortillas. I'm going to put in the flax, and these first ones are going to be a bit like guacamole crackers. So we're putting in, this was 1.5 cups of flax seeds soaked in a whole bunch of water. You don't really need to measure out the water. If it's too much water after it's gelled, you can just pour some of it through a strainer. And you can actually reserve the liquid you pour through the strainer. It makes a super healthy tea. So I've got the flax seeds in here, and then I'm going to add to this uno tomato. So I'm putting in 1 whole tomato right into the Vitamix, and then I'm going to put in 1 avocado, organic. There's no sense detoxing your body of anything if you're going to keep putting chemicals on the top. So we really have to get out those chemicals. I did an interview yesterday in support of the fall 2016 the 2016 Culinary Nutrition Conference, which is going to be held May 11th online. Details will be coming very soon for you. But I was speaking with a doctor, I can't say who, because we haven't revealed all our guests, and we were talking about disease and part of the issue that some people are having with mental health and with children's health and with, so many problems that we're seeing, and a lot of it comes down to chemicals. And if we can reduce our chemical load through our diet, this, by the way, this is a tough avocado to put in the blender. This is a perfect avocado. Can we not just say, look at that perfect specimen of avocado? Buy organic food. It costs more, it's worth more, and you want to have less chemicals in the diet, straight out. Okay, so I've put in a whole avocado, a whole tomato, 1.5 cups of soaked flax seeds. So this recipe is super easy. You can write that down. Okay, so I just smushed up my lime a little bit. So I put in a whole tomato, a whole avocado, juice of one not so really pathetic lime. Look, can you see this? Look at, nothing's coming out. We got to get out the big guns. We'll do it. That was the weakest representation of a citrus I've ever seen. So the reason this flax is so good, and there's sort of, you'll find mixed things, and some say that the phytoestrogens are bad, but they're actually not, in my opinion, in small amounts. You don't want to have like flax, chickpeas, soy. Some soy products have that phytoestrogen effect. You don't want to eat a ton of it all the time, every day. But a little bit once in a while can be really, really powerful in terms of helping your body to detox from overloads of your body's own self-made estrogens, as well as from any potential xenoestrogens or the chemical estrogens we get from exposure to things like plastics. We've been hearing a lot lately about these companies who are taking out the plastic from their can liners. Oh, you're eating my almond bread. That is the best bread ever. That's on my list today of things I have to do when I get home from work tonight, is to make that bread. But so Campbell's is getting rid of the plastic in their cans. There's all this information about that, and that's a large part because of the xenoestrogens, the bad chemical estrogens that leach from the BPA, the bisphenol A. So I'm also adding cilantro to this, and cilantro, I'm a lover. I know a lot of people are not lovers, but as a cilantro lover, cilantro is super powerful in terms of pulling heavy metals out of your body, out of the cells, and detoxifying them. The almond bread actually isn't in a cookbook. It's on my blog. So if you Google Megan Teltner almond bread, you will find it. Okay, so now we're going to blend up tortilla round one. But here I am, just spreading out this flax tortilla. There's a few chunks of vegetables in it still, but it doesn't bother me. And so it's just a process of getting it thinner and thinner, and it's really sticky. So mine are never perfect, but I'm okay with that. And then usually what I do is I just cut them up after. So you can make them thicker so they're more like breads or crackers, or super thin, which makes them pliable like tortillas. Now, because I'm on a mission to consume as much flax as I can, I'm gonna make these a little bit thicker, but still delicious and still able. So they're probably not gonna be the ones where you roll things right into them, but you can spread toppings on top of them. So there's two different ways to enjoy it. Other things, I'm going to be doing another one, and those of you who want to stick around, we can keep going. I might end this one and start another one for round two of the second batch. Does anyone have any questions? I know the question is going to come up is, can you do this in an oven? I don't know. I never have. But you definitely don't want to heat flax too much in an oven. You want to make sure that your flax is soaked, ground, and that you keep it, I like to, if you're doing it in an oven, I would do it at its absolute lowest setting for as long as possible. I like the dehydrator because you could set it at about 115 so it doesn't get too hot, and you'll still maintain those, the heat-sensitive omega-3 essential fats that are very volatile, very sensitive to heat, light, and oxygen. So it's a bit of a balance. If you do it warmer, they've got less exposure to oxygen, but more exposure to heat. If you do it lower, there's less heat, more air time. So these are the things we can't worry too much about, or we'll make ourselves crazy. That we're making our own tortillas out of avocado and flax. It's pretty much awesome enough.